Yikes. So several weeks ago, Val showed me a photo of one of my favorite cases, the Mouse Contour, that was heavily sanitized because of, well, whatever we're going through. It did not look good. So I thought to myself, I need to get to the bottom of this because as an actual reviewer, this is just something I really needed to know. So the first step was to buy a lot of hand sanitizer. Ever wonder what 20 liters of hand sanitizer actually looks like? It looks like that. Now the stuff that I got was based on the WHO's formulation of 80% ethanol. It doesn't smell good. The second step was to figure out how to apply the hand sanitizer in an efficient manner. Trying to decide whether to, what would be more realistic, spray, or if we were to do a soak. So I'm gonna go in, get a sprayer, see what else we can find, and go from there. $20 worth of stuff. This has been sitting here for like a week as we were trying to figure out what to do with it.
Wow. That's a lot of sanitizer.
It's not like the gel stuff, like this stuff just gets all over the place. And honestly, it's really not that useful because it gets all over the place.
How are you gonna fill it?
So one of the things I realized with all this hand sanitizer stuff is that the fingerprints on my thumbs get gnawed away by this, all the hand washing. And so I've been using the iPhone SE second generation.
Does it not recognize you?
Like 2 days later, it's like, nope, you're not here. People always ask me, do you think Touch ID is going to come back? No. If anybody needs hand sanitizer,
give us a call.
Do you need your hand sanitized?
Sure. Oh my god, just my hands.
Now the third step was to find some cases to test with the hand sanitizer. Now remember, I'm a reviewer, right? And I take this job very seriously because at MobileReviewsEh, Monty, me, and Val base everything we do on actual usage. We produce free-roaming, grain-fed, hormone-free reviews. Not like some of the other channels that provide factory reviews that are just pumped up full of sponsorship money.
It's a good thing we have like a wide selection.
Oh, let's take one of the compost.
Oh,
Compostable ones.
that'd be cool.
I think we got a bunch
or
of
one of the ones that have like these thingies on it. I wonder how this will...
Yeah, toss that in. Yeah, let's throw in a Pataka carbon fiber case.
Oh, I thought it was the wallet one. Yeah, we could ruin that one. Not the wallet one though, because I like the wallet one. I want to use it again.
I really don't want to. This is such a nice case. We'll throw in the Apple leather case as well. That almost $200 monstrosity.
That was $200.
Like 180 bucks.
What the hell?
Ooh, let's throw this one in. This one's got colors.
This one fits my phone. I don't want to ruin it now. Ooh. That's so many pieces.
I think that's good.
Is there one that you're like, that one's gonna get destroyed?
Apple leather. Basically any of like the material cases, I think, and the silicone are just gonna get annihilated like very quickly.
I feel like that one's gonna...
Yeah. There's a part of me that thinks like the Speck and TPU ones are just gonna come out absolutely ragged. So the rationale behind the cases that we chose was to pick ones from my top 10 list. Also cases that were made with, you know, natural type of materials like leather cases, cases with lots of adhesive, and cases with different types of materials. And a couple of Apple branded cases. So here's a cool carousel shot of all the cases that Val, Monty, and I decided to test with. The Razer ArcTech Slim, Moshi Altra, Otterbox Commuter, Apple leather case, 1521 Cork case, the Mujjo leather case, the Urban Armored Gear Monarch, Caudabe Sheath, the LifeProof Slam, the LifeProof Next, the Apple Silicone case, the Tech 21 Studio Color, the Ciel Color Brick, the Casetify Conscious, the Loopy Case, the Caseology Nano POP, Speck CandyShell Grip, the Nomad Active leather case, the Flow Lab Tafica, the Pataka Mag case, Pataka Mag Case Pro, Speck and Crystal Hybrid, Casetify Impact case, the Lowit Wallet case, Tech 21 Pure Clear, Mouse Contour Classic Leather and the regular contour, the Rhino Shield Solid Suit, the Speck and Clear case, and the Pellet case. So plan A was to get Monty to do all the spraying for the cases, but we had to go to plan A too because Monty doesn't have thumbs. This was like the smallest tarp I could find. It's still really big. Oh, that doesn't smell good at all.
Well, they're clean now.
Oh, all right, last one. It's just a taped one. Just curious to see how much yellowing happens.
I'm in position. Lock and load.
I'll be honest with you guys, this is getting ridiculous. Need a better way of doing all of this. Now, after 12 applications of hand sanitizer spray in the summer heat, all but one case showed some wear and tear from that entire process, and the only case that showed that wear and tear was Lowit, as their wallet case started to peel, but I'm guessing that's because of the heat from the sun and not the hand sanitizer, or maybe a combination of both. But not just the hand sanitizer. So I'm about to go outside and do the 13th application of hand sanitizer, and it's not going so well, mostly because it says, the stuff down here says it is quick drying, fast acting and quick drying, and as we go outside you'll see every hour on the hour sort of thing. That stuff just kind of sits on top of the those cases, so it's just kind of, and even the tarp is getting kind of sticky, like there's all this crud on it. I am assuming that we're going to have to start wiping these down. The cases still look okay, and I think that extra friction with the wiping will add a bit more wear and tear to it, but we'll kind of find out. Now, going to this video, I knew that cases with adhesive were going to fare worse than ones without, but I thought, again, more was going to happen, but it didn't. This Apple case just sucks it all up. Now, after 26 sprays and leaving it outside in the sun, nothing really changed. I was really thinking that cases that relied heavily on adhesive, basically any case that has leather on it, would just start fraying, so I decided to go with plan B, which is full submersion. And right off the bat, stuff started to happen. This smells so bad. Oh man, that feels so gross. Like the microfiber, that's so alcohol-y. It feels so slimy right now. Get a couple of lids. I am a little worried that all this stuff is gonna evaporate because these lids are not airtight. Whoa. Something started coming off. Which case is giving me the blue? Ugh. That's kind of cool. Our first victim. You know what, we'll just leave it in. We'll see what happens. Like that's actual, that's like not paint or anything, that's actual like case on my hands. Like it scratches off. So we've got the 2 boxes in there. I'm gonna tie up the bag and then I'm gonna come back just to see what happens, because like my hands, I can't get that blue stuff off my hands, which is crazy. Kind of gross. So it's been over 8 hours, actually, closer to 10 now. I will note that, yeah, part of the Apple leather case is still on my thumb. So, you know, that's real great. Let's see how terrible this all looks. Well, something's definitely leaking because that was clear when we put it in. The bottom one looks equally as dark. So let's pull them out and take a quick look to see how terrible this is going to be. It looks so gross. All right. So that's not the biggest culprit, I don't think. Commuter's starting to look a little funky. Feel a little funky. Oh yeah, like the blue stuff coming off of this case. Ooh. This clear case has never looked better. Limp noodle as ever. It's a nano pop. Ooh. Oh man. Oh man. This is the thing that's melting in there. Literally melting. It's starting to bend. A bit of a warp. They're actually all kind of starting to bend. Yeah, this thing is coming apart left, right, and center. It's starting to come off. Like microfiber and hand sanitizer, like this feels slimy. Like this is so grody. It's just that corner piece. I'm gonna let all this stuff dry out overnight and I'll put it back in just to see kind of what happens. And soon, it's gonna be chimichanga break. Like what I'm doing with this video, make sure you subscribe to find out some of the other stuff that I'm planning on doing. Now I have to reiterate the simple fact that my hand smelled so bad after playing around, diddling with the cases in that slew. Like I went to bed that night and I was just like it took an extra shower to get that smell out of my hands. Now I will admit that fully submerging a case in hand sanitizer might not be realistic. I think at this point in time I was just kind of bored of spraying and wiping down cases, and What we did was probably equivalent to about a month's worth of heavy sanitizing, my guess. Now, I did the slew test 2 more times, with the last test having the cases sit in the slew for about 30 hours before taking them out. And I decided to stop because I was getting so tired of my studio smelling like hand sanitizer. And the stuff that we bought doesn't completely dry, so it kind of leaves like a little film on it. And so everything just got really greasy and it was just really gross. Now, as I was just waiting for stuff to melt in the slew, I was so very certain that the cases were going to be ruined. Why? Because as I was checking them and pulling them out of the slew, a lot of the cases were just completely warped, you know, around the button areas. They were just kind of bent out of shape. This piece completely melted. This is the Loopy Case. It is... This is... Ooh, the Tech 21. That's a lot of discoloration. What happens when we rub it? Yeah, stuff starts sloughing off. This is a LifeProof Next. It is completely useless now. Like it's just like... This is a Flow Lab. So the case definitely has taken on color. It's now this nice smoky gray. And this thing's completely done for. My name's coming off. That's kind of neat. Ooh. Finish on the razor. That's a little rough. This is the mouse contour. So this was the one that, like, it feels super slimy. Oh, don't get that on your shirt, Aaron. Oh man. Now, after taking it out for the last time, I let them kind of dry for a couple days before going back and looking at them. Now, as I said before, I thought most of them were going to be ruined, but to my surprise, most of them weren't. In fact, most of the cases returned to their original shape. Now, there were a couple of odd things that I really wanted to check out. The pink solid suit that I used was much looser than the brand new one, so I was kind of curious to know if it changed size or if the material is weakened.
It didn't change size. But it's definitely looser.
Now, the back of the Moshi Altra looked completely gross during the entire testing period. It felt gross and was visually terribly to look at. But after it dried, the rubber triangles didn't look very different. The only thing that really changed was the coating on the outside of the case along the edge. And, well, the wrist strap thing just fell right off. Melted off. That was literally the only thing that melted. Now, the colored mouse contours, despite being color bombs, as you saw at the beginning of the video, they came out very slimy, but as they dried off, they weren't bad, which is kind of weird. In fact, all the leather cases did that. They lost a bit of their color. They came out slimy, and they sloughed off some of their color. Now, the only leather case that really didn't slough a lot of color was actually the Mouse Contour Classic leather. Everything else just lost a lot of color. Oh, my bad. The Active Rugged from Nomad didn't slough a lot of color, or actually didn't slough color at all, but that's a different kind of case. But this case handled very well. For a leather case, we'll say. The other thing I wanted to point out was the Loopy Case. It came out completely wet and mangled, but yeah, it looks fine now, so yeah. Now, there was one case that got a little smaller, which was the Pella case. The bottom of the case didn't fit the iPhone at all. Now, I'm not trying to pick on Pella, but like their case actually shrunk, and it's kind of humorous because all summer they've been running a ad saying you can buy 2 cases because you can clean one and keep your iPhone safe in the other, but in reality, it's just, it shrank. So the award for the least hand sanitizer friendly case, or the LHFC award, goes to the Apple leather case because the moment that case was exposed, stuff started coming off. Could you imagine spraying that case down, you know? And I'm assuming that you've bought this nice leather case, that you've got some other nice clothes, you know, like a fitted suit, and you wash it because you're, you know, being all diligent and stuff, and then you're putting it into your suit jacket pocket without realizing that that button's on the case or whatever on that case was sloughing off the colors, only to go back a few minutes later to pull it out and realizing that your entire like white dress shirt and your entire inside of your suit liner has been stained by this case. Like that, to me, would be incredibly frustrating, would it not? Now, other cases that completely failed the test include the LifeProof Next, as the protective liner in the case fell off completely. The Tech 21 Studio Color, because it lost most of its color, so I guess it's just the Tech 21 Studio case. Also, the finish comes off if you scratch it hard enough. The Urban Armor Gear Monarch, which was surprising to me, but that case failed, specifically the red version, because the red right just comes off after a little bit of hand sanitizing. The Casetify impact case failed as well, specifically the custom printed stuff because, well, this case doesn't have my name anymore, which is sad. The Lowit leather case, as I've covered that a lot already. The ArcTech Slim by Razer had the finish come off of it on the back. The 1521 Cork case started to look pretty rough after a bunch of submersions. The Moshi Altra, already touched on that. Looks terrible. The Otterbox Commuter, because the TPU sleeve is still mangled looking, though it kind of has no ill effect on the actual case usage, but it just looks bad. And as you saw before, the Rhino Sewage Solid Suit. Those cases failed. The next group of cases were ones that kind of deformed, or, you know, stuff might come off eventually, which include the mouse contours, as the colors will slough off, the mouse limitless, as the material is glued to the back case may come off, the Mujjo case, as the piece around the camera cutout will come off under heavy sanitation, though it doesn't do much. I don't know why that piece is there. It is different and gone when you compare the Mujjo case and the Mujjo wallet case side by side, but honestly, if I didn't point that out to you, you probably wouldn't notice that that little bit is gone. The Loopy Case, already covered that. Came out as a wet, mangled mess, and the Nomad Active rugged leather, as the TPU around the buttons were just bent out of shape. Now, if you're looking for the best leather case to use, again, I would still stick with the Contour because it looks decent. It will patina. The Nomad Active rugged case, the hydrophobic leather on that doesn't patina as much, and it didn't get affected through this entire process, but it's a kind of different leather, as I said before, so those are kind of your leather options from my perspective. Now the next group of cases are just basic all clear cases, and I put them in their own group because I really wanted to illustrate the fact that they absorb color. Like, all my clear cases are now kind of dark brown grayish cases. Remember that tape case? Take a closer look at the difference between the colors. One side's clear, the tape side is clear, the other side is dark. Neat, right? But in this group, there was a bunch of Spigen cases, as well as a Tech 1 and Pure Clear and the Full Lab Tafica. And like the Casetify case, they all kind of absorbed a bit of color. Cases all still work, but, you know, have to point that out for you. Now, cases that came out of this entire ordeal generally unscathed after being dried include the Pitaka cases, the Apple Silicone case, which was surprising to me, the Speck CandyShell grip, the LifeProof Next, the Caudabe Sheath, the Ciel color brick, and the Casetify Conscious compostable case. And that Casetify case was surprising to me because the Pella case was kind of a fail, but I was expecting the Casetify one to be as well. Yeah, it wasn't. It still works. So were these the results that I was expecting? The short answer is yes. I went into this video knowing that polycarbonate, you know, wasn't going to do much. Like, all the hand sanitizers come in polycarbonate cases, you know, the entire thing of hand sanitizers is kind of a polycarbonate bucket. You know, Mouse has triple layered cases, so they use polycarbonate TPU as well as TPE, and like the polycarbonate bits, nothing happened to them. I knew that hand sanitizer wasn't going to affect that. Were the results of how everything integrated and how it all came out mangled? Yeah, it was kind of expected. I knew the adhesive stuff was going to come off. I knew color was going to bleed, but, you know, all in all, it was just kind of neat to see it all in action. Anyways, here's a bunch of bloopers and BTS stuff because it couldn't fit into the beginning of this video. So after 26... exposure on this camera is annoying. Just spilt coffee everywhere. Realize how shaky this camera setup is. I took a poop. Such a needy little dog. After removing the cases from the first... Oh, off! That was you texting me. I don't know why the backdrop keeps changing. Like, it should just focus on me and not change. Freaking new camera. So that's all I got. First time watching my videos, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. This video took about 4 weeks to do, I think. It took a lot of effort, but it was a lot of fun, so it's worth it.